Hey guys, this is Elizabeth from the Missioneros of God's Love in Tustin, California, and today we're going to be meditating on Christ the King. Why is this relevant today, and how can we improve our relationship with God? And how can we grow closer to God? These are the two questions that we're going to dive into this video. So let's talk about Christ the King. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the context or the history. So, in this year, 2025, this religious celebration is turning 100 years old. Yes, you heard me right. 100 years old. Pope Pius XI created this liturgical celebration to combat fascism and communism. Because at around the 1920s or 1925, these two, fascism and communism, was really strong at the time. And as I was meditating on this religious holiday, I was like, wow, the world was a mess then, and surprisingly, the world is a mess now. Why? Well, when God is out of the hearts and minds of politicians, governments, and kings, they suffer terribly. And unfortunately, the people under their power suffer too. This is what happens when God does not reign in people's hearts and minds. Instead, their flesh reigns. And as a human being, guys, I can tell you that we have a lot of flaws. We are greedy, we're proud, egocentric, we want to be admired, acknowledged, we want to have money, we want to have power. And others, who cares about other people? I only care about myself. And this happens to all of us. Not just people who are in power. And we're currently seeing it with governments around the world. Despite these people saying that they're Christian or they're Catholic, they really have nothing Christian or Catholic about them. Their actions tell us that God is not reigning in their hearts, minds, or lives. Guys, it's so easy for anyone to say, oh, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Christian. Anyone can hold a Bible. But to demonstrate their faith in action is totally different. Now, Christ the King reminds us that earthly kingdoms or governments rise and fall. They have good times and bad times. And despite of that, we should not fear. We should not be afraid. Because there is a kingdom that is far more powerful and even higher than all of these earthly kingdoms. And that kingdom is Jesus' kingdom, where Jesus is king and we're a part of his kingdom. Or at least I hope we want to be, because the temptation is there to follow earthly influencers instead of our true king, the King of the universe, Jesus Christ. But let's say that we're all in his kingdom. I want us to reflect. How far or close are we to our King Jesus? And imagine that Jesus lives in this castle because he's the king. And that castle is on top of a mountain. And below the mountain and around the mountain, there is this small town with these cute houses or cabins. And I want us to reflect. How far or how close are we to our king? Are we in a faraway cabin so far that we can barely see him? Are we somewhere in the middle? Like far middle, center middle, or close middle? Or are we in those houses or cabins that are close to him and that we have this clear view of Jesus' castle? Or do some of us think that we are actually within the gate of his castle, like a house super close to his castle? Now, our placement depends on our relationship with Jesus. How often we pray, how often we think of others before ourselves, how often we accept being ignored in the name of God or in the name of his service, or because we're serving him. And what are our actions saying about our relationship with God, our attitude, our mind? Do you find yourself listening to a higher voice, like God's voice? Or do you find yourself listening to your voice? or even the voice of others, of the world. We need to feed the Spirit more, so it has more ultimate authority over us, more authority over our flesh and worldly desires. And with that, I dare you guys to move closer to God. Dare to be curious. Dare to move out of your comfort zone to achieve a beautiful life with God. Because we do not have to live alone in this world. When Jesus is your king, he treats his daughter or son with blessings and gives them peace during the tribulations. Thank you for listening, and I invite you guys to continue praying and meditating on this topic with God. Tell God, "Speak to me, O Lord, for your servant is listening."